All right, welcome back to the Subs and 15 podcast. This is our last episode of the season, getting into all kinds of sports going on. My name is Zach Combests, editor-in-chief of the Eastern Progress. Co-hosts our graduation senior edition of the podcast, Abby Hooven, our sports editor. Then we have Ryan Gumm and Derek Daniel over there. How you guys doing?
Doing well, yeah.
Doing good?
Yeah.
All right, let's get it kicked off here. NBA news, we got playoffs going on, the Mavs. What have you guys been seeing from them?
Nothing.
That's all right. We're going to hold a moment of silence for Abby on that one.
Yeah, they've been...
You
All right,
know,
moment over.
The moment has passed. We can get into it. Last night was not the best by a long stretch. Luka, 28 and 11, triple double. No, he didn't have triple double. He had 2 assists. Never mind. Jalen Brunson had 21, and then after that, the next highest was David Bertans with 10. So, absolutely nothing outside those two guys.
Hey, he was 3 of 4 from behind the arc, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It seems like every game this series, someone else hits an ungodly amount of threes.
Yeah,
and this time it's just his turn.
The Mavs, like rotation pieces, have been hitting. It's just the quantity that they hit. That's the problem with teams that have one star that revolves around everything they do. Jalen Brunson has done really well. Dinwiddie, I thought we'd see a lot more from Dinwiddie. He's definitely taken a back seat. But yeah, I mean, you look at everything that came out of this game 5, and a 30-point loss. It got outscored in that third quarter. What was it, like 28-4?
33-14.
Yeah, 33-14. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, and you just look at all the other stats just for the game. Dallas got out-rebounded by 12, 50-38. Gave up twice as many offensive rebounds, 12-6. Listen to the assist total, because I think this says the whole story about that night. Dallas had 9 assists on the game. Phoenix had 28. Ridiculous. That's a huge difference. So yeah, I feel like it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just
good.
You look down the list here. Everything that was positive went towards Phoenix, and everything that was negative went towards Dallas. Like Phoenix had more blocks, had more steals. Dallas had more turnovers. Phoenix had 20 more points in the paint. Yeah, it not a good showing.
No.
I think to add on to that, like that bad third quarter that the Mavs had, 6 of the 16 turnovers were in the third quarter.
Right. Yeah.
So like, you can't. Like, you're not scoring. You're turning the ball over a lot, and then you let the Suns go on a 20-0 run. You just can't you can't come back from that. Whenever you were only down 3 at half, so to come out that flat in the second half is not.
Especially if you have only got one guy to legit put the ball in the hoop.
Yeah.
If you've got more than one, if you got 2 or 3, that's the difference though. Like Luka can have a bad night if they have more help. But if Luka's not having and Luka still had 28 and 11, but if he's not doing what he usually does, this is what will happen.
I mean, unlike the Suns, I mean, you had Booker, Ayton, Bridges. You had 3 or 4 guys there. Chris Paul did pretty good. They had multiple guys being consistent throughout the game, so, I mean, that was the game changer for them.
Yeah.
Like you said, with the Mavs, they struggled, couldn't get nothing going, and I still got the Suns on that series.
Oh, yeah. Most
Yeah,
definitely.
at this point, it would take a couple guys outside of Luka to really pull them through, and I just don't think they have enough out of those role players like Dorian Finney-Smith, like Maxi Kleber. I don't think those guys are going to be putting up these big numbers to get them through 7 series.
No, you're right.
I'm pretty sure that man Dorian, he got the flagrant one last night. I'm pretty sure that was just a frustration foul.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
He just absolutely wiped Booker out. On
Yeah.
a wide open layup.
And then Marquise Chris and Biyombo going at it in the tunnel.
Yeah.
They're trying to find each other. Hey, I'm all for a little spirited fight every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
You're down 30. Do what you got to do.
I guess. So I think this is a good point to move on to our next game, another 3-2 series. Miami, and another blowout, demolishes the Sixers. And man, it just looked like Philadelphia didn't show up. Like they left whatever they had on the bus. Because it was awful. It was an awful night for Philadelphia. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this horrible Philadelphia showing.
That was rough. I mean, just alone, the fourth quarter, 39-19 was the difference there.
Yeah.
They could not get nothing going. Joel Embiid didn't have a great performance at all, only 17 points, 5 rebounds. That's not the normal Joel Embiid that we usually see, so they got a lot to work to do.
I think the biggest thing for me was that Bam shut down Embiid. You know, like it wasn't necessarily like B just had an off night offensively. It was that Bam locked up on defense. And, you know, if Bam's playing that good at defense, Jimmy Butler is, you know, known for his defensive prowess. So I think if they keep playing defensively like they did, this series is already over.
Yep. James Harden showed up Game 4, had his night. You know, turned back the clock a little bit.
Yeah.
Followed it up with 14, 6 and 4. I mean, when you have Joel, like you said, Bam played very well. Bam was obviously in the Defensive Player of the Year award running, but also that orbital fracture. He got hit in the face last night, and it's not looking good for Philadelphia. Like they swing this Harden trade, and this just.
I fully expected Harden to do a lot more than he has.
Oh yeah, I think everybody did. It's
just kind of disappointing when you see Embiid's kind of struggling. You would think he would step up.
Yeah.
Like you've seen it in the past with other teams. I don't know what his deal is.
If Simmons was still here and playing, do you think he does better or worse than what Harden did?
Simmons wouldn't be playing.
No.
What's better, a Harden not showing up or a Simmons not playing? Because at the end of the day, I think you get about the exact same out of each of them. Because like Seth Curry would still be in Philadelphia, and he's not. He was playing all right. He got hurt in Brooklyn, and that was why his overall production was limited. But yeah, I feel like Philadelphia, they made this deal, and on paper they got better, but I feel like they plateaued. They didn't get any better.
I mean, 56 points in the paint for the Heat, only 36 for 76ers. I mean, just there alone, that really hurt them. Turnovers were pretty close, though, 15 and 11. Steals were same, 8 and 8. So nothing else was really different besides point in the paint. I mean, you had Jimmy Butler right there, Bam as well, right at the rim every time. So
I feel like this game on stats, it mimics a lot like the last game we just discussed. Because like you talked about, like this one might be a little bit closer in certain regards, but Miami out-rebounded Philadelphia by double digits, just like Phoenix did to Dallas. They out-assisted by double digits in much of the same way, 26-14. Out-blocked. The steals were about the same, but you know Philadelphia had more turnovers and, like you just described, points in the paint and more fouls towards Philadelphia. So like just a lot like you said before recording, we didn't really have a fun night of playoff action. It was two games that really mirrored each other in a lot of ways. Yeah.
And before these games, even yesterday, I was sitting there thinking, you know, most of these games in these series have been pretty close. There have only been a couple blowouts, and then we have 2 30-point blowouts, so I guess I spoke too soon. But for the most part, these series have still been tightly contested until this point.
Yeah.
Yep, one of those games was the Warriors getting a close win against the Grizzlies.
Coming back.
Yeah, that was a really good game.
Yeah. We got to see what the Grizzlies have done all year. This is only their third loss when Ja doesn't play. And man, I mean, he's out for the rest of the season. Rest of this series, I should say, but it is going to be the rest of the season.
Most likely, yeah.
Derek had pointed that out before our recording. I mean, you just look, you have 5 players in double digits for the Grizzlies, and it's crazy to think that they still didn't get to 100. Like, this barely got to 100 points. From the Warriors' perspective, Steph played like Steph. You had, like, Thompson and Poole both had 14. Andrew had 17. And Otto Porter Jr. with 12 off the bench. Yeah, what a guy. What a man.
Georgetown guy, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that name in a long time. The Warriors played like the Warriors. I think Draymond in his show said that we aren't the Timberwolves, this is championship level basketball. I think it's facts. I mean, that was what we were talking about going in, was that the Grizzlies had trouble with Minnesota, and Minnesota wouldn't even touch the Warriors. So, yeah, I think this was something that we all expected. The youth from the Grizzlies would really bite them. I didn't think the injury bug would, but here we are. Warriors in 5.
I think the only thing that the Grizzlies might have as saving grace here is that Klay Thompson is just absolutely fed up with Jordan Poole. So, you know, if that locker room gets a little more, you know, chaotic and hostile than what it is right now, the Grizzlies might be able to, you know, to sneak a series win here. But I don't know, because, I mean, like, the other night, they literally drew up a play for Jordan Poole, and Klay walked off the court.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not, like, it is not in good spirits right now in that locker room.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only way I see the Grizzlies taking this series.
Well, the Grizz are a very scrappy team, which is funny because like they're so much different than their grind city mindset they had a decade ago. Which is when saying that, I have to say it was a decade ago because it doesn't feel like it. Tony Allen and Marc Gasol, Mike Conley, Zebo,
yeah.
But this new Grizzlies, I mean, they're the exact same but different. Like it's the same story, just a different book. You have like the Grizzlies did not out rebound the Warriors, but they're only a 6 rebound differential, right? They had the exact same amount of assists, more blocks, more steals. They turned over the Warriors, had more points in the paint by 56 to 42, and still lost. It's just they outshot the Warriors from 3 by 1.
The Warriors outscored them by 10 in the fourth. So without that late push, it would.
It's just wild to think like it has to be from the aggressiveness from Golden State. They had
came down the free throw line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they had. I mean, they outshot the Grizzlies from the free throw line by not only percentage wise 90 to 60, but they had 11 more free throw points. Which I mean, when you look at the scoreboard,
when
it matters.
When you're making more than your opponent is attempting, you're doing pretty good on the night.
The free throws. In terms of the Warriors, they had made 20 of 22, and the Grizzlies made 9 of 15. To put it in.
So what you're telling me is the refs decided the game.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, we've had a few instances where refs have decided the game. I'm not going to go back down that rabbit hole, but I don't think that's not how this was. I feel like it wasn't the refs deciding the game. The Warriors put pressure on the officials to make calls.
Yeah,
which is a lot different. That's not the refs deciding the game. That's the Warriors playing to their advantage. Because the Grizzlies were playing really aggressive, and that shows on the box score: more blocks, more steals. They also had more fouls. So I think that was like the way that Memphis tried to overcome the loss of Ja was they played aggressive and they played very team oriented, which you saw it was successful in many avenues, but just not enough.
I agree with that. Yeah, let's move on to our last team right here, Boston Celtics, the Bucks. Got about 3 minutes left in this segment. I mean, Celtics come out with the win. A little bit closer, too, than the other ones.
I think this is probably our closest series that we have. Like, we assume the Warriors are going to run away with it. We assume the Suns are. We assume the Heat are. I don't know who's coming out of this.
Game 5 is tonight, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is.
So, I mean, they're going back to Boston, are they not? Yes, they're going back to Boston for Game 5.
Yeah.
And, man, like, I really think the winner of this not only walks out of the East, but I would almost dub them my choice for champion. They're just, both of these teams are so well, like they're versed on both ends of the ball. Like obviously you got Miami, but like we've said before, Boston or Milwaukee has everything Miami has, but better. Like their star power is better, and they have as good defensively and as good coaching. So focusing on this game. What did you guys see from Monday night's game?
Al Horford. Went off. 30 points, 8 rebounds. Giannis kind of got in his face a little bit, got him going. Mm-hmm. So he was definitely the difference maker for that one. You know Jason Tatum's going to put up 30. It's just kind of how it's going to go. Jaylen Brown, 18. Marcus Smart, 18. But when you get 30 from Al Horford, that doesn't happen often, obviously.
Yeah, and you touched on it, I think. I mean, Al Horford, obviously, his 30 was obviously huge, and obviously Jason Tatum had 30. But Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, and Derek White having double digits. Smart and Brown both had 18, and Derek White had 11. Derek White is a huge acquisition at the trade deadline from San Antonio. I mean, it's showing right now. Like, they have that depth. They have guys that play their style of basketball, that play that defense/offense style, that defense leads to offense, get it to our stars type of play. Mm-hmm. And Milwaukee just didn't have an answer for it.
Yeah, I like Marcus Smart and his play there. I mean, almost a double-double there as well, 8 assists. That's I mean, if they can have between Smart, Brown, and Tatum, I mean, that's a duo. That's a trio right there. If they can consistently score like this, I mean, the Bucks better watch out. But Grant Williams also is pretty good. I mean, 9 points for him, not the best, but he's a good big dude.
Oh, yeah. Eats up space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was pretty good performances.
Yeah, and I think once again we talked about it last week, and we're going to talk about it this week, and it's going to be the name of this, or the biggest thing on this series, especially if Milwaukee doesn't win. That Chris Middleton effect. They cannot shoot the three. They do not have anyone that can reliably shoot it once Chris Middleton's gone. Wes Matthews is a guy that used to be kind of like a Chris Middleton-esque, tears his Achilles in 2014, and just hasn't been the same. And I think it shows. Like Wes Matthews tries to fill in that Chris Middleton spot, 9 of 27 from 3. That's 33%. Not that the Celtics did any better. I mean, they did a little bit better, 14 to 37, which is 37%. But you're taking 37 over 33 any day. So yeah, just looking down the score sheet here, the Bucks actually out-rebounded the Celtics, but in every other facet of the game other than steals, the Celtics just outperformed. I think that's the name of the game here, is that the Celtics are they look like the better team when Chris Middleton's not playing.
Definitely. Derek, any final thoughts as we wrap up this segment?
The Bucks are making a comeback. I think they win the series.
I mean, it's tied, so there's no coming back.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying they were up and then we tied it up. So I think they win it in 7.
I mean, hey, I'm here for anything long series. Like,
I think they win it in 7. But I don't like that Ryan's dogging on the Heat as much as he is. I think the Heat win the East.
I respect the Heat. They're number 1 seed for a reason. I don't think they have the firepower to beat either Milwaukee or Boston. But they definitely could.
If Jimmy Butler keeps playing like he is and he's gotten a lot better at the three-pointer, right. I think
I want to ask you 2 questions.
Yep.
Is Jimmy Butler better than Giannis?
No.
Is Jimmy Butler better than Jason Tatum? The answer is no, and I rest my case.
He's in case closed. We're done.
I rest my case.
Yeah, but I feel like the Bucks don't have the depth that the Heat do. Not without Chris Middleton.
All I'm saying, I've thought Boston was better than Milwaukee, especially with Chris Middleton out, and Milwaukee's still making this a very close series because of Giannis. So I don't think it matters.
That's what I'm saying. The Bucks are taking it in 7.
I mean, yeah, like they probably will, but if they get Miami, which they will, I think this will be the very similar series, and Milwaukee walks to the finals with Chris Middleton back.
If he's back.
If he's back.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially. Yeah. Hopefully.
All right. Well, that's the NBA segment. Next will be NFL. All right. The next segment is NFL. We're going to start off with the Jags. Josh Lambo filed a lawsuit with Urban Meyer. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, he's trying to get his paycheck that he didn't get from getting cut. And I'm assuming.
Man, think it's severance?
Say what?
Severance?
Yeah.
Do they do severance?
I think so. I don't know. That you caught me way off guard when you said
It's
severance.
an HR question.
Lawman.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's an HR
You
question.
are a
I don't
lawman.
know.
HR question. Anyway, no, I think he's filing a lawsuit against the Jags, and I'm pretty sure Urban Meyer was the reason he got cut. And he's filing not only for emotional distress, because remember, he got humiliated because Urban Meyer kicked his leg as he was stretching and said, "Make your kicks." And which
messed up.
It is messed up, and it's mildly hilarious. But I'm assuming that he was the reason he got cut because he's seeking for retribution his $3.5 million in salary that he would have gotten had he stayed on the roster. So, all luck to you, Josh Lambo. I hope you get a second chance in the league. It's funny you got kicked.
Kicker got kicked?
Yeah. He got me just think about it. Like it's bad, it's stupid because Urban Meyer.
Yeah, he kicked him. He said, "Hey, Dip, make your effing kicks," and then kicked him in the leg. And then he responded, "Don't you ever effing kick me again."
Abby, not that language.
I'm not saying the full words.
I just imagine that because Urban Meyer's an older gentleman. I just imagine that he didn't kick him hard. He just did one of those old men kick where he tapped him with his teeth. Yeah. He's
Come
like,
on now.
do your job, and he's kicking him, but because it blew up, obviously he has a reason for emotional distress. This man lost his job and became the laughing stock of the league. But it is still funny in my mind that this old man was just do your job, and then proceeded to.
But the Bears would sign him. The Bears have terrible kickers.
Yeah, they need.
I don't think Josh Lambo is terrible.
No, I'm saying the Bears have
Bears
terrible
are
kickers.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying that because he's a terrible kicker, the Bears should sign him. But that's not what you're saying. You're saying that they need a kicker.
Well, I mean, that could also be true.
No,
right
no.
now, I'm just saying,
The Josh Lambo disrespect.
Never heard of the dude before now, so.
What? Wow. Y'all are,
Just
wow.
saying.
I've heard of it. He was good for a year or
disrespect to
two.
Josh Lambo. I'm sorry, Josh Lambo. I know this is your favorite
Now
sports
we
show,
know.
and this is what
Yeah.
you watch every week, and you're looking forward to it. And now he's probably turned it off at this point.
Probably.
But if you're still here, we apologize. Get your bag. Anyway, moving on. In other news, Ravens signed running back Mike Davis, the vet. I don't really
super
know.
old, ain't he?
Oh yeah, he's 35.
Yeah.
He's 29.
He's 29.
29. Never mind. But that, I
He
mean,
feels like he's been in the league
I
for
thought he was
forever.
in his,
Mike Davis?
mid-30s.
Yeah.
He's 29.
He was with Carolina, and then he was with
Atlanta.
The Falcons. Yeah.
I feel like he's been in the league for
Interesting.
forever.
I mean,
Yeah, he was with the
that
Falcons last
29
year.
running back is old.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me
For the
wrong.
league, well, like for the league, yeah, but like he's not an old man. Like we were talking, like he was like close to
Old.
retirement old.
Yeah.
Like no, this man is like I've got like 3 years left kind of deal.
Yeah.
To make things worse, he had jewelry and cleats stolen from his house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was he the one whose dad had like it was his dad's memorial cleats?
Yes, it
and
was
they
his
stole.
Custom cleats for his dad
Yeah, who passed away.
got stolen.
Yeah. That's awful.
Here's my thing with the signing. The Ravens are going to have to sign about 5 more running backs before the season starts because all of their running backs just get hurt
Right.
in the preseason or in practice. I mean, what they had? They had like 3 running backs blow out their ACLs like
Their
before
top
the
2
season-
tore him last year.
Yeah.
before the season even started.
Yeah.
So
that makes me wonder, like, is that a coaching issue? Like, are they being like what is causing all this to happen for one
I
squad?
mean, it's definitely got to be a coaching issue,
right? Like
Like, what's going on in these trainings?
Harbaugh, what are you doing, brother?
Yeah, like if like a freak accident happens, like with Jacksonville,
Yeah.
they're Etienne,
ETN, yeah.
Etienne, like stuff like that happens. But when you have 3 running backs get hurt before the season starts,
That
you got to ask
something
questions.
is not going right for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hopefully Mike Davis doesn't tear his ACL.
I mean, hopefully not, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, they need just keep signing them because you're going to need more with
Yeah.
that coaching staff up there.
So this next question, I put it in here because I've seen a lot of this recently, and I feel like it's becoming a popular fad. Okay, how do we feel about rookies paying their teammates or their teammates' charity of choice for jersey numbers?
I mean, I don't think they should play the other players, but you can. I feel like charity's okay.
Right.
That's a nice way of
recently, Kevon Thibodeau paid, I can't remember which teammate it was, but paid his teammates charity of choice $50,000 to get his number 5, which is fine.
That's
But
cool.
I don't remember. I saw it in passing and I wasn't able to find it. And I'm sure someone in the comments will be like, it was this guy.
It was Graham Gano.
Graham
Paid him $50,000
It's the
to
kicker.
get
Yes, he paid the kicker.
the number
Yeah,
off the kicker.
yeah. But there's another person in the league, a rookie this year, and I saw it recently. Can't remember which player it was. Paid $250,000 to get his jersey number, and I'm pretty sure that went straight to the player.
See, I'm fine with that if it's like like a top 10 pick who just got multi-million-dollar contract and he's like, here you
Right.
only make $500,000.
Aiden Hutchinson, who just got like $40,000 or $40 million.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's like if you just quadrupled somebody's salary in one day and you're like, here, I really want this number, I think that's fine. But like if you're talking like Patrick Mahomes is paying Travis Kelce for his number,
Yeah.
that's not in good taste.
I don't think there's a problem with it.
I don't think there's a problem with it, but I'm just saying, like, at that point, go to charity because Travis Kelce nor Patrick Mahomes needs the money.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. I was just curious because it seems like a fad almost. Like it's becoming more and more popular to at least report about. I'm sure it's been a thing for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious what you all thought about it because I think it's ridiculous. Like not in a negative way. It's just it's just funny.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna do that now in like the MLB and NBA.
You'll probably
When
see it
they'll
becoming a
start.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will pay
It's already
you to
happening.
get my jersey number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. In other news, Tampa Bay OC Byron Leftwich clarifies statements regarding his position. So, as you guys know, Bruce Arians retires. They hire defensive coordinator Todd Bowles. Bruce Arians takes more of like an administrative position underneath the GM. And questions arose as to what Leftwich's position would be. Does he stay calling the offensive play calls as the OC, or does he relinquish some of those because of Bruce Arians' elevated role, or what does he do with Todd Bowles? And he clarified, stating that nothing is changing. He's always been calling the play call, and he will take all the risks that he wants. So what do you guys think about Byron Leftwich?
It sounds to me like it was people were like questioning, like, are you needed here? And he was like, yeah, I do the most here.
Yeah.
So I think in that aspect, like the fact that they brought Tom back, they're like, we got to keep this guy because they've been like, the duo for 2 years now. So where I think, you bring in more weapons for Tom, and Leftwich is like, all right, let's go to work.
Yeah.
He's like, nothing's changing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Leftwich. I mean, he's good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's decent, but at the same time, like I'm reading things on here about Tom Brady, talking about wonder if Brady didn't want to come back with a rookie head coach, even with the experience that Leftwich had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's.
You think that's why they picked Bowles over Leftwich?
Yep.
Interesting. I mean, I just think it's weird that he has to clarify because, like, if you're the OC, it's pretty well established that you, unless you're a guy like Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay, maybe even a Zach Taylor, like as the offensive guru, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're hired on as an OC, you're pretty much expected to be the play caller. So I saw this headline and I was really intrigued by it because Byron Leftwich was a guy who had a lot of head coaching offers, or at least a lot of, like, there was hype for him to potentially get an offer. And obviously they go with Todd Bowles. So I was really intrigued by the thought that maybe there's, trouble in paradise down in Tampa Bay, especially because when you look back, this Bucs offense has been good. Like, astronomically good under Byron Leftwich, who came in I think 19, even before predating Tom Brady coming in there, and they still had an all right offense, if not for Jameis Winston's 30-30 season.
Well, I mean, 30 touchdowns is still pretty good.
No, that's great. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like he their offense was still good before.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't understand, like, if there's anything in terms of, like, doubt of Byron Leftwich's ability. I'm shocked. Just because he's always been the play call. And I think that's exactly what you said. That's what he's reminding people of.
Yeah.
He's like, like, if Tom Brady had doubts about him being the head coach, I'm surprised. Just because, like, he had all those, like, the hype around him being a head coach. He's been the OC, and they've been very successful with him on the offensive side of the ball. And, like, nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is that the DC's now the head coach. So, yeah, I'm very, very, very confused.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Tom probably does have some doubts because he signed a deal with Fox to be an analyst.
Yeah.
Big deal.
That's the next thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so, he's like, I don't really know how this is going to go. Let me secure a backup plan for, like, if I just want to piece the scene, like, mid-season because we're not doing good.
Right. I've never seen someone sign a contract without, like, a hard date on it.
Yeah.
Fox was just like, whenever you retire, we want you and we'll give you this money. And Tom was like, sure. So this man could retire in the next 5 years and then still get this deal. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. 10 years, $375 million.
Yeah.
It's the most lucrative in sports broadcasting history for a guy who's not even done playing yet.
He's making more money with this deal than he's made in his entire NFL career.
Mm-hmm.
What? Like by 20-something million, maybe more.
That's pretty ridiculous.
That is insane.
I mean, but I think they saw like how it worked out with like Tony Romo with CBS.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Matt Ryan and stuff.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
So like when you bring in like these used to be players, like it always like with Troy Aikman, like he's still there.
Yeah.
So like I think they're like, Tom's big name in football, so if we bring him on, be like a color guy of like, oh, they're getting ready to run this play and do this, whatever.
Yep.
Kind of like what Tony Romo does. I think they're like, we'll get more viewership.
I wonder from a player's perspective how you feel about that, though. Like an analyst calling your game gets paid more than you do.
It's going to happen.
I know, but
you can't do much about it.
That mental thought, though, you know what I'm saying? Like you're working every day. Not that they're not working every day, but like Tony Romo, there's a reason he's not a coach somewhere because he has the best job in the world. He gets paid millions and millions of dollars to watch a football game.
Yeah.
Like.
Can't beat it.
No.
I wouldn't mind that.
So I would love to talk with a current player and be like,
I mean,
what you feel about that?
Pat Mahomes gets paid $500 million to play a game.
Well, yeah, it's one thing to play the game because, like, well, think about it. Like, you're putting all that work. Like, it's on a professional level, playing the game is one thing, but like to sit there in a seat with your little card of information and to call it. Like, imagine if me and you got to call a game, and you got paid millions of dollars to do it.
We'd be the next Greg Stoudemire and Wes Chandler.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm curious. We'd be
pretty good.
We'd be pretty good. But yeah, so I do have another question for you guys. Looking around the NFL, are there any coaches in particular that you have penciled in to say, okay, this year their squad is going to do well because of that coach? Because I have one.
Bengals.
I've actually got a few. That's a big one, but we've already seen that.
I mean, we have, but I think they're going to do even better now.
I agree.
I'm sticking with my Lovie Smith pick.
I don't think that.
No.
I'm sticking with my Lovie Smith pick.
That's a safe hire because Lovie Smith can establish culture. He's not going to win. He's just going to establish.
He might win. Now that we've got Deshaun Watson out, you know what? We're winning.
I forgot your
5 games.
Hey, at least you commit to Houston Athletics.
5 games.
Yeah. Okay.
That's more than we won last year.
No, it is.
And the year before.
Yeah. No, Lovie Smith is a guy that will establish culture. You'll be competitive, and you will still lose games.
We will be better than Jacksonville.
He'll be yes, that's fair. He will be a guy that gets fired / forced to retire. But when the next guy comes in, there will be a great established set.
I'll even go out on a limb and say that we are only 2 games back on the Colts this year.
That's a bold take.
Because Tennessee will win it, but the Colts will be like around 500.
That's still a bold take. I actually disagree with that. I think the Colts will win that division because of comments
Ryan Tannehill sucks.
We're going to get to the comments that was made about Matt Ryan, but I actually have 2 coaches I think that will really show their coaching prowess this year. Dan Campbell and Robert Saleh. Detroit.
Dan Campbell's a good one.
Yeah.
I love
Like
Dan
that.
Campbell.
Mhm.
I adore this man. The way not only does he crack me up, but the way he's able to you could see it in this Lions team this year. They were bad. They just didn't have any talent, but they were so competitive. They played hard. This is a guy like Dan Campbell's a lot like that Lovie Smith thing I was just talking about. He's a guy that even if he doesn't succeed, even if he gets fired, that the established culture he's going to leave behind for the next guy, if he's not successful, will get the Lions to where they're wanting to be. Because he's such a good coach in that regard. So I think this year they had a phenomenal draft.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I said they were the best draft, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
Yeah, they had a phenomenal draft. And the same thing with the Jets. Robert Saleh is a phenomenal coach. Both of these guys, I'm pretty sure Dan Campbell's a defensive-minded coach. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he is.
And he was one of the lines. I don't know if it was offensive
I don't know.
in New Orleans. But regardless, the point is,
I mean, even if you're an offensive line, you're kind of defensive-minded.
you can be. Yeah. But the point that I'm saying is that both of these guys, I know at least Robert Saleh is a heavily defensive-minded because he was the DC in San Francisco when that defense was nutty. But the point is, those two for me are the two. I can't decide between them because I genuinely feel both had one of the top 2 drafts. I think the Giants had, or top 3, I should say. The Giants had the best, as I said last week. But those 2 teams are very close behind. So I think with the talent that they had in place, even in Detroit when they had relatively none, the talent that they've gotten and the coaching that they have, both of those teams I think will really bounce up this year. Even if that means they only win 6 games. That'll be a huge bounce for either.
Agree with you. What do you have, Abby? Anything?
No, I'm pretty good.
Abby, who is your NFL team?
My NFL team, the Steelers.
Of course it is.
You two are just
Terrible.
destined to
Terrible.
go against each other.
Terrible.
Well, like I said the first time I was on, I was like, I don't hate the Bengals. I just root for the Steelers.
I hate the Steelers. I'm sorry.
Wait, is it the Bengals?
I've said it. The Bengals.
It's
Bingle.
It's the Bengals.
Bengals?
The Bengal Tiger.
Sorry, I haven't taken the time to learn this. I don't root for them.
Because the Steelers are better.
Yeah,
Historically.
historically, not lately.
Not right
Doesn't
Not lately.
Oh,
Listen, man, that
I'm
history-
getting under Ryan's skin.
History's.
Right now.
I'm too busy trying to look up who said what about Matt Ryan because I saw it and I should have written it down.
He'll
but
be fine.
one of the coaches,
He'll be average.
Reggie Wayne. That's who it was.
Reggie Wayne?
Reggie Wayne, who's currently an assistant in Indianapolis.
Is he talking trash about Matt
No,
Ryan?
no. He
Oh, that's what you
said, it makes me sick because Matt Ryan looks so much like Peyton Manning. Is what he said.
Is it the big forehead?
I don't know, but that's what he had to say. And if there's
Is it the
that much
helmet for a
confidence,
head?
listen. Did you see that? You obviously didn't see the comments, right? Like
No.
you didn't see him say it. So just the way he looked when he said it, it felt genuine. You know how a lot of times coaches will hype up their own players just for the media type of stuff, but they don't know. This felt genuine
You mean like physically looks like him or like in his
when
play
he
style?
when he played.
play.
Like the
I thought
way
you meant like physically he kind of looked like him.
You were
Yes,
you
he
went
looks-
straight for the big forehead
Yeah, you
look.
really did.
They do both
You're
have
just
big foreheads.
disrespecting people today, like Josh Lambo, forehead. But no, man, listen. If Matt Ryan's going to play that, like if he's in a system that will play as well as what Reggie Wayne is saying, and if he's a lot, like obviously he's been one of the most underrated quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan in Atlanta. That franchise was just awful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he got some respect when he won MVP, but even that season's overshadowed because they lost the game, and for some reason they blame that on Matt Ryan, like as if he was the only reason they lost to New England 28-3 season, right? Like, but no, it can't be anyone else's fault. It's just Matt Ryan, the guy who had an MVP type of season. So I really think that if there's that much confidence in Indianapolis, that line is phenomenal. That defense is good. They get some more weapons, a few more pieces for him to throw to. I think Indianapolis could easily walk out of that division.
I don't know. My only problem is that he went from having a top 5 tight end, the second most versatile player in the league in Cordero Patterson, to now all he has is Jonathan Taylor.
I feel you. No, that's what I'm saying. They definitely need more weapons.
They have none.
But I mean,
They have Jack Doyle.
or say they have Jack Doyle. Don't they have Pittman or what's his name?
Pittman got sent to the Jets.
That's right. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. But the point is, the point I'm trying to say here is that if they can find some weapons, even just baseline, something that he can throw to and maybe get a catch every now and then, I feel like they will be better than the Titans, especially because the Titans, AJ Brown's gone. Julio's not been signed back, and even then, Julio's been injury riddled.
They got Treylon Burks. They're all right.
I mean,
They got the best receiver in the draft.
they get some weapons, and you stack them up. I think that the Colts are better.
We'll see.
We will see.
We'll see.
Texans finished last in that division.
Jacksonville's awful.
They are really bad. They are very bad.
All right, well, that's the end of that segment. Next will be MLB and college baseball. All right, our next segment is MLB and college baseball. We're going to start out with college baseball. Talk about something weird that happened between Louisville and Wake Forest the other week. They ended in a tie. First time in over 2 decades. I know Derek is pretty mad about that.
Rant.
Baseball, first off, I'm pissed off enough that NFL has ties. Baseball should not have ties. I don't care. We discussed it off screen here that on Sunday you can't start an inning after 5 for whatever reason because of a travel curfew. These are college kids. They're grown. The semester's over. Who cares if you get home at 1 a.m? Who cares?
You're right.
It depends, too. I think the next day they also had a game. So that might have been
They didn't.
Too.
They didn't have a game
day?
until
Not
yesterday. They didn't play Monday.
not till
This is
Tuesday?
bullcrap. Or are we talking about Wake Forest?
Either
Forest?
them or, yeah,
Louisville didn't have a game until Tuesday.
No,
I don't know
Tuesday.
about.
Wake
Hold on,
Forest.
let me look at Wake Forest.
Here, we're looking at Wake Forest.
But travel, they started the game at 1 o'clock on that Sunday. But travel restrictions that could not start an inning after 4:45.
They're not playing until Wednesday.
Oh my gosh, this is even worse.
They're not playing
It went-
until Wednesday at 6 p.m.
It
They
went
had
12
done.
innings, tied at 5-5. Strange thing. The first time Louisville has had a tie since March 19th of 2000 against Tulane.
This is terrible.
So, yeah,
See, this is
it's
why,
something new. Why
This
not?
is why Louisville is the subpar university. I'm just.
Wow.
Baseball.
No.
Baseball's
You
a
never see
subpar
Kentucky.
sport.
Kentucky went 13 innings against Tennessee. They didn't care.
Yeah, they did win against Tennessee. That was a good game.
That's what I'm saying.
That was good.
No, they
Besides that, what has Kentucky done this year?
Yeah,
Eastern went 13 innings too. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Against Xavier, right?
They had no travel restriction.
no, Xavier went to 11.
Was it
They
just
went
11?
they went 13 against
I can't remember. They went 13.
they went 13 against Bellarmine.
Off comment. I'm my notes are on my phone, and my phone just turned on my driving mode for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway,
Because this tie is driving you crazy. That's
I
why.
guess.
That's why.
But anyway, the Cards are doing pretty good though. 34-13 and 1. Got that one tie. 26-5 at home. 7-7 and 1 on the
The
road.
disappointment that came out of that and one.
It's
One.
one.
But they've been looking pretty good though. I mean, had a good series sweep of Clemson. Also beat North Carolina State in a series. So yeah, I don't know how that works then. If they had a win against Wake Forest, then a loss, then a tie, who won that series?
Nobody.
How does that work out?
Nobody. Right.
Just a draw,
Yeah.
good game, and
I guess unless one team won their game by more or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
they probably that's probably how they do it. They probably do.
One of them won
points.
14-3.
Oh,
that's how they do
that
it
team
in-
definitely
yeah,
won the
Wake
series.
Forest won 14.
That's how they do it in the NBA. If the divisions are
It's
tied
more.
going into the playoffs and they're trying to see who's got the higher seed, if the season series is tied like 2-2, they will go to see who won by a bigger differential. So that's probably how they'll determine that.
Yep. The next week, EKU and Louisville face off.
At Louisville.
That's gonna be fun.
Roll
matchup.
Kearns, baby.
All
Eastern's taking it.
Kearns.
They're on a 5-game win streak. They just swept Jacksonville
Jacksonville
State
State.
on the year 6-0.
They're 32-15. They're
It's over.
21-4 at home, but they're 11-11 away.
It's over for Louisville. I don't care what we're
It's
on.
over.
It's over.
It's over. It's already.
No, you have to
I'm,
play the game.
I'm
Just give
going
us
with
the
the
dub.
Cardinals. I'm going with them.
I mean, yeah. Why not?
But they struggled on the road though. 11-11 on the road.
Listen, man, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
They've been good at home.
We've done well
Yeah.
against pretty much all of the state teams to this point, barring that weird NKU loss.
Yeah. I think we were undefeated.
Yeah, we were
And we
undefeated against
Did we?
state
We
teams.
still beat NKU, right?
We beat them once, and then we went there the end of April and lost 16-5.
It doesn't matter. You know
Yeah.
what? It doesn't
It's
matter.
fine.
That's a
Coach
wash.
Pro's got us going the right
Pro
direction.
money.
Pro money. You don't
Pro
even
money.
understand what's coming for you. The Cardinals and the Colonels. Tune in on. I don't.
You know,
May 17th at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
ACC Network.
I mean, and they're first in ASUN too. I mean, they're
First in the ASUN West.
killing it. That's what I'm saying.
If you want to know more, check out EP Sports Zone. Yeah, that's my podcast.
I did talk to Wes, our commentator Wes. He said the only team he's scared of in the West is Lipscomb,
Who we play this weekend?
who we play
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah.
So he was like, the winner of
They got
this
some
weekend is
pretty
probably
hitters.
who will win.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So you know what I mean? Got some insight.
Yeah,
there.
because Lipscomb swept us
Wow. That's
So,
shocking.
Yeah, that's probably why he's scared.
on the.
Oh, yeah,
but we
for
were
good
on the
reason.
road for that series. We're at home for this one.
Interesting.
And we're undefeated when we broadcast the game.
Well, you shouldn't have said that.
It's gonna be your fault if you jinx it.
I'm not the first person to say it. Dave already said it twice.
On
Here, we're
Twitter.
Dave
knocking on the
tweeted it
wood.
twice. Yeah.
We'll make it work.
Don't come at me, Pro Money.
Yeah.
Let's move on to UK baseball. Hit on them a little bit. I mean, beat Tennessee, #1 team in the country.
First series
That was pretty
win.
good.
That is the first series that Tennessee has lost all year. Mm-hmm. It's an impressive win for Kentucky,
Yeah,
especially considering the up and down year they've had.
Mm-hmm.
they've been struggling. Yeah.
They just lost the series to Florida last week. This week you come in and beat the #1 team. I mean,
Were they at home?
yeah.
Very safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for them.
It was good. And I mean, the one game went 13 innings, like we said. Like it was 13-2, or not 13 innings, 3-2. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, that was really good. I was watching that game, and I'm like, the Tennessee brought in this kid that was pitching 105. I was
Yeah.
like,
I
Yeah.
saw that.
I was like, this is over.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're coming in throwing Chapman numbers, you're probably pretty good.
Yeah, but they didn't win.
No, they did.
Where's your curfew there?
I know Tennessee should have called it like
I'm just
after
trying-
after
After-
10
yeah.
minutes, like I'm
the
done.
game started at 7:00 on a Thursday.
Oh, but there needs to be a curfew rule.
I'm just trying to get it.
That's
get
just
there.
a
what I'm
Sunday
saying.
thing. It's supposed to be a
That's what I'm
Sunday
saying.
Just a
thing.
Sunday thing?
It might be just in the ACC. I don't know.
What?
Like,
Okay, so the ACC's like, we don't want our kids out too late.
yeah.
Like, what?
They got places to be.
The overprotect.
Where are we going on a Sunday
Okay,
night?
It's one thing if it's like Louisville, but what's down in like where's Wake Forest?
Salem,
located?
North
Winston
Carolina.
Salem.
What's down- what is in Salem, North
That's
Carolina?
a 7-hour drive.
Unless it's like their finals
Listen,
week or
man.
something. I don't.
Listen, man, I did worse in high school. I promise you that they could have done it. Like, whose idea is this?
I mean, if you think about it, like, these high schoolers are going to these travel leagues. They're probably playing a lot later than these guys.
Yeah, my little
But we
brother's
don't
played till
wanna
2 in the
hurt our
morning before, and he's
players.
9.
Where's
You're telling
the
me
line?
the 23-year-old college kid can't play till 6 p.m. and
but
then take a 7-hour
guys,
bus
we don't
ride?
want to hurt our players. They need to get home at a safe hour.
Maybe their moms set a curfew and complained to the ACC.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Karen.
Karen.
Well, let's move on to something cool. Not keeping on the U of L train. Why not?
No,
Since I'm
we
the
really
host,
shouldn't.
I can lead the
He's
show.
dictating.
He's leading it.
Reed Dimmers for Louisville alum. He had a no-hitter. That was awesome for Angels, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Angels no-hitter.
12-0 win.
Mm-hmm. That was huge for him.
It was-
A rookie. So
But even better than that is that Anthony Rendon batted left-handed against Brett Phillips, who's not a pitcher at all. He's just a position player that comes in and pitches whenever the Rays are getting absolutely slaughtered or slaughtering whoever. Rendon hit his only hit of the game, a left-handed home run.
Oh what?
A left-handed home run. It was his only hit of the game against Brett Phillips. Like,
Nice.
he's like, you know what? Screw it. They're messing around. I'll do it too. And then just takes 1 yard.
Interesting.
based, yeah.
Baseball. Anyway.
Stick with your grapefruit.
As the
Stick
grapefruit
with
is
the
there,
grapefruit.
yeah. But no, that was really cool. That was Reed Dimmer's 11th career start, and first no-hitter. So that was pretty cool of him to do that. And then, especially against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's decent. They're not the worst team out there. So it's a pretty good team. And to be at home, too, to throw a no-hitter at your home stadium makes it even better. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's the youngest to throw one since 2006.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
I mean, he's like 22, I think, or
22.
something. Yeah.
Pretty close to Mother's Day. You know, he's like, here you go, Mom.
Yeah. Here's a
Didn't
no-hitter
get
for
the
you.
Mother's Day start, but you know what?
He goes, Ma.
Next best thing right here.
Yeah.
Yep,
'Cause
that's
Ma,
pretty
I
cool.
got you.
And he was just drafted in 2020, so he's doing the whole virtual Zoom thing for the draft.
Shoot.
You know, that's pretty cool now that coming from there, throwing no hitters. So that's all I've seen on my Twitter feed.
Just throwing no hitters.
Yeah.
For all you Reds fans out there, Don't let the Reds get hot.
And
All
they are surprisingly, what's happening? They're coming back.
Won 3 out of the last 5. I mean,
This is a joke. Listen, we're 6-24. Don't do that.
hey, y'all are heating up, all right?
We are. Watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out for the Reds winning the World Series.
Win-
Call it.
yeah, I was
World
say.
Series.
Call it now.
Our
Listen.
whole what 60 wins we're gonna get this year? Maybe.
61 is the lowest you ever gotten. So
That we're lucky to eclipse that.
I don't think you will.
Come on. We had
It's
a
a sad
3-game
day.
winning streak. Like, come on.
Sad day.
What's going on?
I
Hey,
mean,
on the
Yeah.
bright side, Votto has he's not playing. So
why is that the bright
Bright
side?
side.
He's your
Sign,
franchise
though,
player.
Yeah.
so bad. He's
Yeah.
playing so bad.
I get it, but like he's still your
He was
franchise
holding
player.
you
What
down.
do you mean, Joe? Okay, listen. If the fact that you just said that shows the state of our franchise. Joey Votto is the franchise player for the Reds right now.
He is.
Think about it.
I mean,
He's
always really
your
been-
Freddie Freeman.
He's
Yeah.
always been.
It's sad.
But like, here's the thing. I was talking with Wells, and he's like, why don't we just bring back all the old players, like Adam Dunn? And,
Oh, yeah. I'm all for that.
Wells is a guy that works here at EKU, so it's not just a random man that we made up. But yeah, I feel you.
I mean,
It's a
he's
fake
like,
compliment.
at least bring back people we know, because like,
Right.
who knows any of the players
Brandon
right now?
Phillips still playing for the Legends right now.
I'm saying bring him back.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's a part owner. He's an owner player for the Legends.
How
Very-
old is he now? 'Cause he was playing like.
He's old. He was back in like 2009,
I would
2010.
say he's
he
got
was
to be
playing.
close to
Yeah.
40 at
saying,
least.
Like he got drafted, I think in like 04.
Yeah. No, he's been around for a hot minute, but now he's the Lexington Legends here in Kentucky. He's a owner / player.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
pulling the old MJ.
Call
from
him to the
Washington.
Reds.
Yeah.
We need him.
I mean, yeah, like why not? I mean,
What was he? First base? What did he play?
second.
Second base.
Played second. It's
Yep.
not very good.
Yeah.
You know what?
Oh yeah, he was great in his time.
Yeah, just bring them all back. You can't do worse.
You really
Why
can't.
not?
I mean, at this point.
I mean, bring back the team they had. Todd Frazier, Zach Cozart, Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto. That infield.
That was a good infield.
That was good.
That was good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Dusty was coaching there.
Yeah.
Dusty was coaching.
You can't have him though. All right, I'm not giving up Dusty.
Come
Don't
on.
Not
think you
giving
have
up
a choice.
Dusty,
You
all
really
right?
don't have a choice in the matter.
Talking about
I-
Dusty. How about your Astros?
Yeah.
We're doing good. We started slow.
in a row.
We're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Verlander almost hit a no-hitter, too.
Yeah, I think he gave up 1 hit in like 8 innings.
Lost it in the 8th inning.
Good.
Pretty good though. I think we've won 8 in a row, so we're doing pretty
The
good.
only game behind the Angels.
Yep. We haven't allowed a run in the last 2 games. Both wins were 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
So the pitching staff, all right, is stepping up where the offense is lacking because we're still not scoring what we're used to, but we're just not giving up runs.
Right.
Like the most runs we've given up in the month of May is 3,
Yeah.
and that was a 3-2 loss to the Blue Jays. So
That's just coaching, man.
yeah, man, I was telling you, you can't have Dusty.
No, I mean, hey, you can keep him. He's the only reason Houston's bearable.
Whoa!
Cheaters, you know.
yeah,
so
exactly. No,
it's- yeah.
I'm just trying to mess with you. I'm just messing. No, yeah.
No comment.
No comment. Derek's just.
I'm thinking.
Listen, you say that down in Houston, you better watch your back.
I do not care about Houston and at the slightest. I'm sorry.
I was looking up
I respect Houston and I respect the people that live down there.
Pain.
I was
people-
looking up our pitching coach, Joshua Miller. I
Uh-huh.
don't know who that is. I was just saying.
Great job.
He's
Coach
doing a great
Miller.
job,
Yeah,
though,
great
yeah.
job, Coach Miller.
Yeah.
Congrats, Houston.
One thing I do want to talk about though is the Red Sox are having an uncharacteristically bad year.
Oh, they're only 9 wins, aren't they? Awful.
They got 11.
11.
19.
Better.
They're last in their division behind Baltimore.
Yeah.
Baltimore,
Yeah,
I think, has
Baltimore
spent they spent like $30 million on their entire roster.
Fair to say they have like the lowest. Who's bet down there with them? There's another squad that has like
It's the
around
A's.
30. The A's, yeah,
the A's and the Orioles
yeah.
are down there as like the lowest.
The 30 to 35 range on their entire roster.
Yeah. So I don't know what's happening in Boston. Like you signed Trevor Story, you think we're going to be pretty good. We just got an all-star, shortstop.
What is it about them? That's what my question is.
Well, here's the thing. There's like talks that Trevor Story is not good outside of Colorado. Like he can't hit when he's not in Colorado.
Weird.
Altitude thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are saying he was only a good hitter because of Denver's so high.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
How does that affect it? Like, how does it affect it like that?
Well, it's just
That's
like the air on the ball.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it's easier
okay.
to travel in Denver.
Interesting. Yeah,
Get more home runs.
like-
Yeah.
Statistically, Fenway is one of the easiest ball burst in, home run in, because the right field wall is like not very far at all, and it's really low to the ground. So you can hit like a blooper line drive, and it's a home run.
Mm-hmm.
He's not good. Like, I don't know what it is, but he is not good.
The shame that this man is throwing at people. It
I
started
will
with
throw
Josh
it all. Hold on,
Lambo, and now we're at Trevor Story.
I mean, Trevor Story was really good though.
Oh, he was
when he was there in Colorado.
Say Matt Ryan caught some strays with first.
Let me put it to you this way: statistically, this is his worst season so far.
Right. Well, this is his first year in Boston, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Getting used to it.
I was about to say,
but it's easier to hit there. It's not like you've never played in Boston.
I know,
Yeah.
but that's a big move full time. Like to go from Denver to Boston. That's huge. You know, like maybe give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. This guy is 30 games in his first season away from Denver. Like, yeah, that might be the case right now why he sucks, but who knows, in the next 50 he might end up being the Trevor Story that they saw and signed.
Possibly, I don't know. I don't see it though.
You never know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're not looking too good. I mean, they're 26th in the league in runs with 104, 27th in the league on batting percentage, 25th in slugging percentage. They're pretty low in all categories. So I don't like the Red Sox anyway. I'm more of a Yankees fan than a Red Sox fan. So
Are you a Yankees fan?
I like the Yankees. I'm not like a fan. I'm a Reds fan.
You're telling me it's taken this long for me to find out you're a Yankees fan?
I like the Yankees. I like over the Red Sox. I like the Yankees over the Red Sox.
Well, okay, then
That's what I'm talking about. Like between them two, like
I don't like
that's
either.
the biggest rival there between.
Yeah, I can't like either. I'm an Astros fan. So.
Well, I mean, most of my stuff is Chicago, so like New York
Cubs.
and Boston. I mean, I know I'm not like a Cub or like White Sox
hate the
fan.
Cubs.
I just say,
Why aren't you a Cubs fan?
so my sports fandom relies on Cincinnati. When Cincinnati doesn't have a sports team in that league, I go to Chicago. I don't like.
You just jump from city to city.
It's
Like,
No. It's either Chicago,
cities to see.
Chicago or Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's a C
So like,
thing.
I'm a Bengals
It's a C.
fan. I'm a Bengals fan, and I'm a Reds fan, right?
Yeah.
And a
Cincinnati doesn't have a
Animal
team.
fan.
An animal fan, sure. The Reds, my favorite animal, the Reds. Yeah, no.
Redlegs.
The Redlegs.
That's what they used to be, the Redlegs.
Yeah, no, I that's it. It's like Cincinnati's my city. Like if Cincinnati got an NBA team, I would be a Cincinnati.
Listen, we need to find a team where the city starts with a C and the team begins with a B, because that's what, Cincinnati Bengals, Chicago Bulls.
That is true, yeah. Well, the Chicago Bears. I'm not a Bears fan.
I'm just saying,
I
like,
didn't think you
like,
were.
we need to find a baseball team that's CB.
The Chattanooga Bearcats. That doesn't exist, but
Okay.
Where'd you pull that one
I
from?
made it up. I don't know.
Get off the rails.
Cincinnati Bearcats. How about that one?
I mean,
That's a real team.
Yeah.
that is a real team.
It could have been.
Abby's about to pull this out here.
And she's like, the
Never mind.
Chattanooga Bearcats were a team back in 1949.
like the minor league teams.
Oh, my favorite, the Montgomery Pancakes.
Or
The biscuits,
Savannah-
biscuits.
isn't it
the
the Savannah
Bananas,
Bananas?
Yeah.
That's
No,
cool.
there's a new Lexington minor league team called the not the Adams, what are they called?
Oh,
It's something like sciencey, though.
Yeah.
Geo.
The Geonomes or something like that.
Geonomes.
Geonomes, yeah, the Geonomes, the Lexington Geonomes. And I didn't think we needed that, but we'd have it.
Did it?
Legends now have rival.
There's
I'm a big
there's
fan
the
of the
Everett
lake
Aqua
monsters.
Sox.
The lake
It's
monsters.
like this
The lake
creepy looking frog.
There's another weird minor league team as well.
There's a bunch of weird minor league teams.
there's
Hillsboro
one that
Hops.
There's another one I'm thinking of in particular.
There's the Corpus Christi Hooks.
Is it the Akron Rubber Ducks?
What is this?
The what?
The Rubber Ducks. There's a team in Akron called like Akron.
If
minor
there's
league
a Rubber
baseball
Ducks
called the
team, I
Rubber
want a
Ducks.
hat.
They're the Rubber
I want a
Ducks.
hat.
That's their name. I think they're the Akron Rubber Ducks. I'll look it up.
There's the Hillsboro Hops, and it I swear looks like the top of asparagus.
Is it just like a... What?
Yeah, look.
The Rubber Ducks?
Yeah, the Akron Rubber Ducks.
Like
Why is that logo so cool, though?
It looks dope. Like look at this. Look at this. The Akron Rubber Ducks. That's a thing.
How
as an angry duck.
It's an angry rubber duck.
Yeah, this thing. What is this?
That is a hop. What city is that?
That looks
Hillsboro.
Hillsboro hops.
That looks like a raspberry that's green.
Yeah. I don't know. A hop. Where's Hillsboro?
There's an article that says Barley, the Hillsboro Hops mascot, is simply irresistible.
What?
What a headline. Okay.
I think we've derailed.
That's the college baseball MLB segment.
Hold on. I've got a better one here for you. We've got the Everett Aqua Sox.
The Aqua Sox?
Yes,
All
I
right,
saw
hold
that
on.
The
one.
Aqua Sox.
It's this
Or the Lumber Kings.
interesting looking
Lumber
frog.
Kings.
It is a weird looking frog. And it's holding a baseball in its tongue.
Yeah.
The Muck Dogs.
There's Iron Pigs, Mud Hens.
Hey, Toledo.
There are this.
The Calgary Cannons.
Tell me this doesn't say what I think it says.
Strippers?
Does that say strippers?
What?
Is that stripers or strippers?
I hope it's stripers.
How many P's are there?
Well, there's one, so I'm going to assume
Stripers?
it's stripers, but that would be hilarious if it was the other one. The Threshers,
I like how we had to get
the Mighty Muscles. Oh man, Seawolves. What is
Now
this?
you know all the different minor league teams.
We're going to get a lot of rant here. You should probably end it.
Exactly.
We should
All right,
probably
that's
end
the
this.
segment. Next week,
Cancel.
college hoops and football.
Rough Riders.
All right, our last segment, we'll talk about college hoops and football. But before we start, we'll get our director in here, Gage. Come on in.
He's
Also a senior.
Yay.
Give a shout out.
Gage.
How's it going?
It's going
Yeah,
well.
Gage.
We want to say thank you
No problem.
for all that you've done.
It's been great here.
Yep.
I'll miss you guys.
We're gonna miss you too, man. You've been a phenomenal director. Your first and last time on screen, but we love you, and we wanted to get you on here for a few seconds to say in front of the audience so they can appreciate all you and all your glory, how awesome of a director you've been.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
We got you a grapefruit
No,
We got you a
did
grapefruit.
And
not.
a trophy.
and a trophy. Oh man, he's living the dream.
Yeah.
I like how Abby came on the show and got all our props.
Yeah, pretty much.
Y'all
She made
were.
her
Props now.
show.
Listen, you gotta do something to mix it up around here.
What's the trophy?
The trophy. Oh, I should have explained this during the NBA segment. So,
okay.
I have family up in Michigan, and they lived next to someone who worked for the Pistons. And so when they figured out I was a huge NBA fan when I was younger, they were getting rid of some stuff, and so they gifted me this Detroit Pistons free throw championship trophy from the team. So
Wow. That is impressive. Did you make any free throws?
I was the state champion for free throws when I was 10. My sister was the international champion at 14. She has a huge trophy, so she hit one on Notre Dame's court and high-fived Mike Bray.
Oh, very cool.
So
Her dad has to be the best free throw shooter of all time.
Right.
he was a decent player, but he tore his ACL, and
Is
so
he good at free throws? Did he do the granny shot?
no, but he taught himself to take 2 steps and dunk it. So
Oh, very cool.
he was just bored, and he was like, "I'm gonna do it." So that's what he did.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Yeah. So that's the story behind the trophy. I have different ones at home, but I needed just one just to kind of show off a little bit.
Phone number, I thought.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Zach,
What's going on?
nothing.
Sidebar. Sorry.
Sidebar.
Anyway.
Sidebar, save that for later.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway.
We're trying to get Abby's dad on the podcast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to my dad. He's the biggest fan of all of these podcasts
Jeff
here.
Hooven.
Shout out to Jeff. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you so
Jeff,
much.
we tried to get you on.
We did, and your daughter
I'm
wouldn't
sorry.
let us
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad.
be mad.
But I will say, if we're talking college hoops, he'll want me to tell the story of when we went to see Notre Dame win the women's championship in 2018.
Oh, but that was fun.
Oh
Yeah, we were in the stands. He had a poster from Notre Dame because he would call them and ask for posters every year, and so we went as far down on the court as we could, and I have a photo, and he's holding it up, and I've never seen him so proud in his life. Like that was probably the highlight of his life.
So are you a Notre Dame fan? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Enrique Agumbawale.
Enrique Gumbawale. Yeah. And then we both met Mark Cuban when I was 12. And
This is why she's a Mavs fan.
that
Yeah, exactly.
so that photo is interesting. We had a cop take it, and
We
it was
could sit here and
zoomed
have
in.
A whole segment of Abby's life. stories.
it was zoomed in, and so my dad stopped smiling, so we had to crop him out of the photo because he was like,
Dad, you're not smiling with Mark Cuban. You can't be in the photo.
Jeff.
I wasn't the one who cropped it. My sister cropped it.
Wow, Abby's sister.
So-
disrespect.
Or Jeff.
Yeah, poor Jeff
Yeah.
as Zach Weston would like to say, he's a friend of the podcast.
He's a friend of the
Friend
pod.
of the pod.
So
Friend of the
if we
pod.
meet Mark Cuban again, we will try again, Dad. But those are my stories. Had to squeeze those in.
Mark Cuban a second time.
Hey, you never
On
know.
the podcast.
I'll call Mark. I'll be like, hey, remember that time you told me you liked my Dirk jersey? Yeah,
no.
come back.
He'd be like, no.
No, he probably says that to everybody. But I felt special.
We just gotta come up with something to get on Shark Tank.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
This whole thing was just to get on here to say we're fans. Anyway,
Exactly.
all
right.
actually get into sports news. Woo!
We mean we've been in sports news.
We've been in sports news.
Yeah.
Well, in this segment,
This segment,
Hey.
yeah.
We've been
so
talking
the NCAA, they have before I get to that, I should say first they released guidelines for their D1 members clarifying what it means to do the NIL.
They listen to us.
Yeah, I
They've
know.
been saying for
We were
weeks.
complaining last week and the week before about how like NILs were funded by boosters.
You're telling me that the NCAA board members watch the pod?
Oh yeah,
I think
definitely.
so. Obviously, what else are they watching?
Exactly.
Like, obviously not.
You never know.
Not their own sports, obviously. But yeah, so they finally bring out this rule of NIL prohibiting boosters from recruiting, paying the NILs, because like that was happening. They were funneling money to the NIL deals that were getting recruits to come to their school. So I think that's a big deal. Very hype about
It's a
that.
really big deal.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think it kind of takes away what Miami's been doing,
Yeah.
or what USC's been doing.
Yeah. Florida, all of them.
So like if you take like that aspect out, I think it makes a more even playing field for everybody now.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's a big help to what we're talking about for those mid majors too.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, these guidelines didn't establish any new rules, but just clarified.
Yeah,
what these
yeah,
means
yeah,
for
yeah,
people,
yeah.
which is good because it was much needed. I think it was needed a long time ago because, I mean, NIL has been going on for how many months now? Like,
Oh, man.
back in
Since
the
July?
fall? Did it start? Or
Oh,
summer,
it's
last
forever.
Summer?
Yeah,
I think it started
last
July.
year. I think it got worse this year, but it
Yeah.
definitely.
So it's good they finally clarified stuff, and hopefully we'll fix things. But there'll still be issues. They'll be
Oh, yeah.
clarifying
There's
more
always
stuff
going to be
later.
issues.
Yeah. In other news, KJ Williams follows Matt McMahon to LSU.
Called it.
Yeah,
You
yep,
did.
sure did.
You did. I still don't think that LSU's going to do anything.
I think KJ Williams will be okay though.
He will. Oh, he'll be good there
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, I mean, he'll do fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the LSU, OVC All Star team isn't really going to do well in the SEC.
I mean, 3 of the 5 are there though. KJ Williams, Janiah Broom, Wendell from last year.
Okay, yeah, but only one of those are on LSU. And Auburn actually has like D1 talent around Wendell and Janai.
Do they?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
But
good.
they got some.
they
good
lost
talent.
Jabari though.
I mean,
And
yeah, but
Ca-
they're replacing. They're retooling. They have
we'll
the
see.
rest of the summer.
Yeah, I saw Wendell. He won like the 6th Man of the Year award for Auburn.
Yeah.
They did their own little team, like the Colonels do here.
Listen,
That's
I
pretty
have
cool.
a bone to pick with Auburn though,
Do
because
you?
like, okay, you win the regular season SEC and you drop confetti. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
are we
I
that
mean,
petty that you have to
yeah.
celebrate that much? And then you get smoked in the SEC tournament, and then you get smoked in the NCAA tournament.
Big
Right.
deals for programs like that, though. You know what I mean? Like, this is new for Auburn.
But it's not new for Bruce Pearl.
Oh, you're
No.
right. But, like, I don't
So
think...
like, I feel like he should put his foot down and be like, listen, this is
we expect more.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Like, if you're Kentucky and you win the SEC regular tournament or the regular season, you don't go burn couches on State Street. You're just
Right.
like,
Mhm.
this is what we do.
Right. Won't be what we do for, I don't think, much longer.
Well,
A lot
see.
of talent
I don't
coming
know.
into the SEC.
This year will show with the fact that Sheepway came back.
Right.
If we are good this year and we go somewhere with it, I think we'll be fine. But if we have another bust year, I think it's a downhill and we start becoming a football school.
Football school.
We're a football school now.
Never thought I'd
Baseball and
do that.
softball school. That'll be
You're a
yeah.
volleyball
Yeah.
school.
Hey, speaking of, I think
Softball's good.
for the East, it's between Kentucky and Georgia.
Oh, yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
coming year. We're getting to college football, so save what you're about to say because we got some more news. Just one more piece of news that I want to get to before we touch on football because this is going to be definitely football heavy. Malachi Smith, this was shocking to me. The SoCon Player of the Year from Chattanooga, the guy that led the Mocs to and through whatever part of the NCAA tournament. They only got one game against Illinois, and it was very close. But he's still available, which is very surprising to me. I think he'll be a senior, and he's still got COVID year, so he'll have 2 years. And a guy that averaged 19, 6, and 3. You know what I mean? Like a guy that led his squad, led them very well to the tournament through the SoCon.
He'll probably end up on like an ACC team
Probably.
or
Yeah.
like a mid-level SEC or
It's
Big
just
12.
shocking to me that this type of guy is still available.
Yeah.
You think that like you talk about Kentucky looking for another team or another guy. You look at Louisville looking for another guy. You look at North Carolina who could look to build. Like he'll probably end up like at a Virginia Tech or something. But
Yeah.
like I'm shocked that not more higher end blue bloods are looking for.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like it's kind of hard. Basically, like how we were talking with Shearman went to Creighton,
Right.
even though he had like blue blood interest. I think it's more of like, these kind of guys have a stellar year, and then they're like, all right, let me go somewhere big, get my money, even though they probably won't produce the same level.
Mhm.
So I think like he'll say, like you said, he'll probably go to like a mid-major Power 5 school, where like he'll be okay, but he'll also get his money.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, EKU could always use
Yeah,
another
yeah.
shooter, so
Eastern.
why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, what a sign that would be.
That would be.
It's step down on the totem pole. You think a
Yeah.
little bit?
I don't know. I see him going to like somewhere, maybe like a Clemson,
Yeah.
North Carolina State,
Yeah.
maybe a team like that.
Yeah.
Would be a good fit for him.
Wake Forest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So moving on, finally to NCAA football. I think this was the biggest thing that I saw in college sports recently, and I don't think I've seen it get talked about a lot. And I could be wrong because I've had a very busy weekend. So the NCAA has their oversight committee, and this committee will recommend rule changes and such as they see fit. They recommended the removal of conference championship requirements, allowing conferences to eliminate divisions and crown champions as they see fit. So right now, as the NCAA rulebook entails with college football, teams with 12 members or more have to have 2 divisions, and the winners of those 2 divisions have to face in a conference championship game to determine champions. That's why forever the Big 12, which was at 10 members, couldn't have a conference championship game. That's why it wasn't until 2016 that the Big 12 championship game wasn't a thing. They would just name the regular season champ. That was the guy. They're removing those, and apparently this has been a big deal for a long time because a lot of conferences want to remove divisions anyway. I don't know how that's going to look. I don't know how. Obviously, if conferences want to do it, they've thought it through and they have an idea of what it would look like. But I personally don't know how you're going to not have divisions and have every team play each other when you've only got 8 games for, like the SEC will have 16 teams. You've got 8 conference games a year. How are you going to organize who they play and who they don't play?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's for the bigger conferences that I have concerns and confusion over. But I'm all for allowing conferences to make decisions over their own play.
That's why we go for the 4-for-4.
4-for-4. We
4-for-4
talked
in
about
the
this
SEC.
before, yeah.
All right, so the 4-for-4 in the SEC is what we were talking about.
Yeah, we were discussing
before we
Yes.
recorded. Zach, you weren't here yet. We're going with the North is Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, South Carolina. Your East is Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Auburn. Your South is both the Mississippis, Arkansas, and LSU. And then your West is
The Big 12
A&M,
2.0.
Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Or Ryan likes to call it Big 12 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
I think
I can
that's the
see-
only way you can, like,
Kentucky would have an easy one though. That's easy. That's easy. For them.
So?
I
What
mean,
do you
just wanna-
mean?
Yeah.
but I mean, like logistically, that's the only way you can shake it up. Like, shake it up.
Yeah.
Well, you could do random. Like, you could just jumble it up and it doesn't matter. Like, you can have,
Yeah.
like, Bama, Kentucky, Florida.
I do feel like
and
the
A&M.
Mississippi State-Kentucky rivalry's always been pretty good for football.
Yeah, so,
Like,
like,
going down to Starkville's always fun.
like, it could be, like, Kentucky, Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Florida.
I feel like we gotta have that Tennessee rivalry.
Fine, then replace South Carolina with Tennessee.
'cause-
Or replace,
Yeah.
because Kentucky's got more than 3 rivalries in football. Like, Tennessee, Florida, Mississippi State, South Carolina. Like, all 4 of those are pretty, like, those are big games when they come around throughout the season.
Listen, whoever gets Vanderbilt just has a guaranteed win.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean,
But yeah, see I thought that was an interesting way to shake it out. I have no idea how it's going to work. Other news that the committee also advises for teams that go through. So say like a team loses a coach, and like the LSU effect for what they had with basketball, but for football, a bunch of players leave because they have to have I think 75 scholarship players. Like they have to have some certain number of players, but within a recruiting year, you're only allowed 25 scholarships. Their advice was to give teams in this flux state a 2-year window of unlimited scholarship to replace. You're shaking your head over there, Zach. I'm curious.
That's gonna be terrible because the big schools are just gonna get everybody,
Yeah, but
and
it's
these smaller
only
schools are gonna be like,
it's
"There's
only a
nobody
2-year
left."
it's only a 2-year waiver though. Like you can only do it for 2 years once that coach leaves. So like
is
imagine
it like,
is-
can I do 2 years?
you have to apply for it and you get like
Okay, so like I fire my coach, get a new one,
Yeah.
only but
do
only
this,
if
fire my coach.
I think that there are-
do the 2
yeah.
years.
Just keep doing
I
it.
think that there obviously will be ways to swindle the system, but I think that the point is that you have to have a few things. You have to show that your coach left, and you have to show that you can't replace as much as you lost with the 25 scholarships. Scholarships also include transfer players. That's another thing to keep in mind too. Like they don't just mean recruits; they mean transfers and recruits. So I think that there has to be certain requirements, and I think the NCAA would have to like approve it. They'd have to be like, okay, let's see your situation. You obviously in the next 2 years can't replace all 75 or 50, whatever. Here's your 2-year waiver to get unlimited scholarship. I think it does need to be. I don't think
Is
it's
that
limited.
for anybody and everybody, or is that
Just
For whoever gets up,
like
they have
is
to-
that like CFB and C or
FCS?
FBS? Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so. I think so.
Okay.
You have to get accepted. It doesn't matter who you are. You have to have certain qualifications, and you only get 2 years. And I think from what I read, you only get it once. Like maybe you have to have so many years after you got it before you
Like,
can get it again.
like a grace period or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we gave you 2 years. Now you have to go the next decade without getting it again. Something like that.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna be firing their coaches then.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
You're
coaching
done.
carousel.
Yeah. No. You got the carousel's bad now.
Yeah.
You see Nick
It would
Saban
get-
get the boot. It's like,
Yeah.
well,
It's like, oh man.
Yeah, man, we lost everything. What are we gonna do?
fire Saban.
Yeah. NCAA, give us money. Yeah, interesting. Here's the thing. Now, last question. I've asked a lot of questions today, trying to meet our time limit and fill content. This has been the conversation for forever. And I am so angry that it's a thing for a few reasons, but I want to open the floor before I say my spiel, because you guys know how I can get. What's the big deal with the CFP's expansion? Why are so many people against it?
I mean, we don't want to like March Madness with, however many teams you got there.
That's fair.
It's a lot of teams.
Keep shooting.
So I don't honestly think they should even make it smaller, the playoffs.
Go back to
That's
just
what-
the top 2,
Pretty much. Or even just the top, because right now, what do you got, the top 4?
4.
No, keep it down. Let's keep it to 2. Let's
Breathe,
just
Ryan,
go straight to the championship.
You
Top 2
prefer the
teams.
BCS over the CFP? What is wrong with you?
It's the old school stuff. Like, come on.
Interesting.
This whole college football playoffs, like, this is my hot take. It's just a hype thing. Just get more viewers.
Yeah.
It's all about the money for them.
Yes and
Yeah.
no, though. So, think about it. You get 2 random teams that a computer would assign to throw into the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a 2-loss Auburn faced Florida State because they beat Alabama. And there were a lot of teams that were 1 loss or no losses, but because Auburn's in the SEC, they got in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the CFP is a confounding effect of what we saw in the BCS. And I have a whole thing. I want someone else to speak before I go on it. Please, somebody.
I think we should go to either 8 or 12.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
See,
getting too long. It's like
no.
playoffs, NBA playoffs. It's like
I disagree.
when are we gonna go?
NBA
I disagree.
playoffs.
I disagree.
It's like when we're
NBA
gonna
playoffs
change-
is a 7-game series. We're
I
not
know.
talking about series.
I feel like though 8 teams. That's a lot of teams.
That's
That's just too many.
Okay, well, do you have a problem with the
That's 3
FCS
more
playoff then?
I mean, that's different, though. It's different level of football.
No, it's not. Like, I get what you're saying, but what's the difference though? It's college football.
But
it's
it's
Division
a
One,
whole-
Division One college football. What's the difference?
You have Alabama on one side, and you got Sam Houston State on the other side.
No, I know what you're
There-
saying.
It's
I
just
know what you're
completely
saying.
different.
But listen,
like,
All right,
this
then
whole-
pit those 2 against each other.
honestly, why don't we do that?
whole
Let's
thing-
just mix it all
that
up.
whole thing, that whole argument that players get hurt and it's a different level. Yes, I understand what you're saying, but that's such BS because the FCS has been doing this with 24 teams for
Yeah.
30 years, and you don't hear any issues. There are teams that win
Who
that
watches
league.
that though? Playoffs.
Listen,
there?
I know what
Nobody
you're
does.
saying.
Nobody
I know what you're saying,
watches
but
that.
I'm
watching
We're never
it?
in it, so we
North
don't.
Dakota.
Why do you
Yeah,
think the
we don't
FCS?
watch
Why
it.
do you think the FCS is still around though? Because they're able to generate revenue because of this playoffs. It's more interesting. It's more fun to watch. The CFP. Here's the thing: you leave out so many teams. You don't give. So you can laugh all you want. You leave out so many teams because you got 5 Power 5s.
Yeah.
The SEC is the way it is. So what? You eventually it's just going to be the SEC championship. There's just going to be 4 SEC teams in it nonstop with a 12-team playoff. Say okay. This is what I will say too, because the FCS also has 11-game regular season. I think that's important. You move the FBS to the same format. 11 games, conference championship, that's 12, and the teams that go into whatever, say it's a 12. I think it should be 8. I think 8 would be a good number to see, like an experiment. Like sign a 3-year deal for 8, see what it looks like, no buys, and if you feel like you're still leaving out teams, go to 12 with the top 4 seeds getting a bye.
Okay, what if you go to 12 and you're like, we're still leaving people out?
I don't think you go above 12. I think at that point you're like, this is enough, because then I feel like you're getting into the too many games for football. Because here's the thing, football is a rough sport. I don't think you should get over 20. If you go over 20 games, it's way too much.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, the FCS, for teams that play in the FCS, right, they're playing around 20, maybe more games a year, because they go through an 11-game regular season, then they go straight. I don't think that they have conference championships, or do they? They might, but I don't think so. I think they go straight into their tournament, right? So those teams, and the FCS tournament's much bigger. Like I said, 24 to 28 teams. I don't remember. It's one of those two.
He's 24.
24. So like they're playing how many games like in their tournament? It's like itself.
That would be,
is it like
in
4?
the tournament?
Yeah, in the tournament added to their 11.
So you would go from 24 to 12 teams. So you have 12,
It'd be
6.
3 or 4 games, right?
Yeah.
So they're going 15, 16 games a year. You know what I mean? Depending if they have a conference championship. I'm saying you do the exact same format for the college football playoff. 12 teams, those that make it to that level. Because think about it. Here's the thing. How many games does the team play already? 13. If you make a college football conference championship and you play in a bowl, you're playing 13. You're telling me 3 more games is going to be that astronomically bad when you've already got one level doing doing like almost double what you're playing now? I think this whole thing's ridiculous. I think it's stupid because there's another level of football that's already doing it and you don't hear anything about it. There's no injuries about it. There's not that much different. There's no compounding effect. It's stupid.
He's more ramped up than he was whenever we were talking about
Effort.
Eli Apple.
No, but seriously though,
Bringing
though,
a bracket.
He's more mad than he was at Eli Apple.
no, but seriously
Yeah.
though, like I get what you're saying. Like it's a legit argument to say like, oh, well, they're going to get hurt. But when there's already a league that's doing it and has been doing it, I think that there's no point in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you have 12 teams, I think 8's a good number to start. If you have 12 teams, you get the Power 5 champions, right? Get a few non-Power 5 champions that deserve it, like that legit, like Cincinnati this past year more than deserved to be in it. Then you get some of your runner-ups in there from your Power 5, maybe a runner-up from your non-Power 5 if that conference is that good. You don't leave anybody out. That's what I'm saying. So like we don't have an NBA playoff. We don't have an NCAA tournament. We add a few more games to where it matches the FCS kind of outlook where you play between 15 and 16 games, depending on if you want to keep conference tournaments or conference champions, whatever. And you go on. What's the difference between 13 and 15 games? Not a lot, and I can promise you that. All these other leagues, listen, baseball plays 45, 50 games a year. College basketball plays 40, 45 games a year. You're telling me football can't play 15?
They can.
You're telling me they can't? Like that's my argument about it. That's why, because it's just I think this whole thing is so stupid, and people not wanting to go for it are just fighting change. They're the same people that don't like the NIL. They're the same people that don't like the transfer portal.
Oh, it's all good points. I mean,
All I'm saying.
yeah.
That's my point. I'm
Yeah.
done. I have finished. I've concluded.
Yeah.
Abby, what's your
Well,
thoughts on it?
As a Notre Dame fan, if you're thinking about it, they're independent, so they're not getting these chances.
Technically ACC.
Technically ACC. Yeah. But for the most part, they're not getting the opportunity to get a conference championship win and boost themselves into the top 4. But
almost did this
they
year.
still keep getting in. But I feel like I could see both sides. But I think if we expanded it, it would give like those kinds of teams a little bit more of an even shot than like an Alabama and a Georgia who are constantly going to the conference championship and winning and solidifying their spot.
Yeah. Like the SEC.
But they're the best teams, though.
Do you
so
really? Well,
that's
no,
what you
it's
want.
fair.
You don't want
But
some
then-
random
Yeah.
Tulane in the
How
championship.
long until the CFP?
Yeah.
Because
Well, that's why they have all those other
How long until the
considerations.
CFP is irrelevant and it's boring because the same 3 teams get in for the 4 spots, and the one team that's 4th is just so they're not on that same level. Whereas in college basketball and the NCAA tournament, I'm not trying to compare them because they're way different, 68 versus
Completely
12.
different.
But you like if the college basketball tournament, if the NCAA was 4 teams, what would that look like? It'd be boring. People would hate it. You know what I mean? People already hate the CFP right now. Like there's a reason we left the BCS, and people are already hating the CFP because it's the same 3 teams every single year. You expand it, yes, those same 3 teams will be in there, but there's a greater chance that somebody you don't know will get a shot at winning it because, and Mike Leach said it best. He was talking about the Derby. Rich Strike, 80 to 1 odds. You bet $2, you won $160. That horse got a shot, and he won. You give people a chance and watch them, see what will happen. We'll get a better product, they'll generate more revenue, and you give people that actually want to play in the tournament a better shot. You know what I'm saying? You give them their opportunity.
But Alabama will
It's
still win.
better for the
so-
sport.
Georgia.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You do not know
Put
that.
Alabama and Georgia up
You
against
do
any
not-
other team.
You
in
don't
the
know
small,
that.
like Mountain West Conference.
Listen, Texas A&M beat Alabama this past year. And you telling me Texas A&M was better than Alabama? The answer is no.
At least they're an SEC school.
But listen, the point is, the answer is no. The answer is no. Texas A&M was not nearly as good as Alabama. All you need is one game.
Yep.
You give them more of an
So then
opportunity.
you play multiple games?
What are you talking about?
Playoffs? You can play multiple NBA playoffs, play multiple games,
No,
ball games?
no. We're not getting into this series. No.
Do a series.
Yeah.
For the
Best of
championship.
7 game series
Best
for
of
football.
7 for football, yeah.
That'd be
I could see like
awful.
best of 3.
Best of
Still too much. Still too much. But if
I
you're
love getting
thinking,
you on a roll, Ryan. That's
I've been on a roll.
this,
I'm never not on
This
a
is
roll.
great.
Oh man,
Well, anything
Yeah.
else? Marks?
I think that's
I
it.
think we've said our piece.
Well, that's all for our last episode.
Last episode.
Season
been great.
finale.
Yeah.
Yep, great season.
Going out with the fireworks.
Exactly. Fireworks, trophies, grapefruits,
We got it all.
What a weird show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's been good. Appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for having me on the show and coming up with this new concept. We try to keep it in 15 minutes, but
It doesn't work.
Sometimes.
it don't happen all the
Sometimes.
times. But it's been fun. And thanks for everybody for watching our show all season, and hopefully next season you guys will be back in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the plan there? You guys can bring it
So
back.
we're in talks with one dude to.
In talks like negotiations.
Yeah,
like,
no, yeah. Well, we don't
hey,
know.
this
They're
amount-
signing contracts.
We don't know if he's on board yet or not, but he's interested.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And there is a second person because EP Sports, it's dropping the zone. So
Okay.
it's now just going to be EP Sports moving forward next semester when it starts back up, and the Weston brothers will be taking over that. So Zach's brother Jake is joining the show next semester, and that's going to be something to look forward to because I'm sure that'll be fun. And for this show, like I said, one guy we're talking to, and I'm going to start getting in contact with our future sports editor to see if she would have interest in this show. So we would be moving to 4 if at all possible. And that's the future outlook for our sports shows. And next season, next semester is
Yep.
going to be pretty big for the EPMN. So stay tuned.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Happy to have you.
Of course.
And that is all. Appreciate it.